Hello, everybody. Welcome back to The Luck We Had, a Shameless recap podcast. I am one of your hosts. My name is Amanda. I am joined by our other host. His name is Evan, and we have our returning guest star, pretty much other host, Lena. Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
And this is a mini-sode for season 11, episode 8, Cancelled. And we are very excited to jump into it because there have been mixed reviews out on the internet about this episode. I personally loved it.
I loved it. I thought it was really good.
I really enjoyed it. I feel like I've heard a lot of people say like a couple negative things about it. I'm like, what show are you watching this time?
Well, it's like, sure, there were negative aspects. Like, I do have beefs that I will get into.
Yeah.
But they're not like they're not like deal breakers for me. Like, it's not a deal breaker for me to be like, this is a shitty episode. No, this is a really good episode, actually.
Yeah, this is the third really good episode they've had in a row. Like, fucking killing it. And gold star to first-time director Shanola Hampton.
Woo!
Yes!
She did so good.
She did
my god,
really
it was
good.
fucking brilliant.
She did that, and I'm so happy for her.
And did you guys watch her, like, Instagram stories? She posted a bunch of videos that she had taken, like, during the process, and like, damn, she was working really hard.
She was working on it since November.
And acting and directing at the same time, too. Like, you better get it, Shanola. Good for you.
That, but it's, like, her positivity, too. I feel like she is just the most fun director. I feel like she made sure, like, everybody had a good time.
I love it. I'm so happy for her. I'm so glad that this was her debut, and I personally think she fucking killed it. I'm excited to see if she gets to direct in the future, too. Like, it's so cool.
Yeah, if she keeps acting or just switches straight to directing, we will see. Does both.
So I sent you guys a list of the way I want to go into this episode. Debbie, Carl, Kev V, Liam, Frank, Lip, Ian, Mickey, because let's just get the stuff we don't like out of the way up at the top. Let's just do it. Let's go for Debbie. Let's go for
Debbie.
I continue to hate Debbie every single week. She is severely irredeemable at this point.
It's so, like, first of all, she's just being a bad mom. Like, there was no reason. Prince was still at her house, and her daughter was at her house, and she just went fucking goodbye.
Yeah, and it was, like, good for Sandy for staying, like, the whole night. Like, she was, like, I mean, I know they had that big fight and Debbie just stormed off, but, like, at least Sandy stayed. She wasn't just like, fuck you guys, like, watch these kids.
Even for a kid that she did not want to take care of and explicitly said she didn't want to take care of, she recognized he was her responsibility for the night. Like,
right. I cannot believe Royal did not come back that whole night.
I know. I was so surprised. Like, they had Debbie, like, she was gone an entire night and, like, the good part of the next day. Like, Franny was out of school by the time she showed her face back at the house.
The whole next day, well, because the school actually called her and was like...
Yeah, she was like, no one picked up your damn kid.
And she was like, oh, my girlfriend was supposed to pick her up. First of all, fucking liar. But it's just like, oh my god. I will say the one thing Debbie did that I was like, sure, like, cool, was when she punched that guy in the face after he hit on her.
That was fine. I don't know why the writers suddenly needed the lesbian to have sex with a gay man in the back of
Oh my god,
and then him being married? Are you kidding me?
It's like, first of all, the sexual assault of men played for laughs because he was coked up as shit. But it's like the fact that she pressured him into it. Like, it's also weird to me that the show has, like, kind of gone back and forth on Debbie being like, I'm bisexual, or like, I'm fully lesbian. Like, it's like, what's, like, if she's bisexual, just make her bisexual. I don't care. But it's the fact that they over and over again were like, she's lesbian, she's lesbian, she's lesbian. And then they're like, Debbie does coke and gets horny and has sex with a gay guy. Why?
So fucking stupid. So fucking stupid.
Just pisses me off. And it's like, yeah, the sexual assault of men played for laughs again and again and again. And also making me hate the gay women. Actually, Callista was cool. I liked her.
Callista was great.
But, like, making me hate gay women in this show, I will never forgive them.
Callista, the owner of the bar, who took Debbie in when she was super fucked up and just gave her bed and didn't make a move on her, and then hung out with her the whole next day and expressed concern when Debbie was over drinking and, like, checking on her despite the fact she had a full bar to take care of. I respect that woman. Yeah. I respect that woman. I just wish, like, because I know they're probably going to have Debbie hook up with her. I honestly just wish it would be, like, they're just friends. Yeah.
They need a good, just, like, solid, like when Nessa was a character.
I'm glad that they established that she was sleeping on the couch, though.
Yeah, same. Because then it really cemented her as like a good character in my brain.
Yeah.
I mean, like, obviously,
This storyline screamed we wanted to write another Fiona storyline. That's what this storyline screamed to me. We only know how to write for Fiona, and we're just gonna make Emma do it. Like, that's what
It's just like, and I'm sure Emma like really enjoyed playing like another side of Debbie, but it's like, oh my god,
this was straight up a Fiona storyline. Like,
yeah, this was something that Fiona would for sure do, with the exception of it being like, oh, I'm gay, I'm also gay. Like, it's like Fiona would just like have sex with another guy despite like being in a fight with her boyfriend, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, anyway, that's all I have to say about her. I
loved Sandy being like, I came here to tell you that you are a bitch.
I can't believe that was her exit though. Like the fact that
Galovich porch breakup.
But like she just walked out, and then it's like we're never gonna see her again. She just walked out like she didn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sad that that's the closure we got with her, because there isn't any closure with that exit.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just.
And moving on to another storyline I fucking hate, Carl.
You know what? Okay. So the Vice Squad thing, I was like, whatever, like, cause you know, the cop stuff and whatnot, but it's
that
like.
One cop was a bully on Glee. He was one of Karofsky's.
I remember, yes, the black one.
Wait!
Yeah.
Oh my god. His name was, Azemio on Glee.
Yeah. It's just like, but the fact that Carl spent the entire episode looking out for his family, I liked that. And looking out for Kevin V, like he fucked up his own job. Yeah.
When he called Tammy and Lip, I was like so glad that he called Tammy before he called Lip.
Oh yeah.
Right? It's just like Carl is like, he's just really good-hearted. I just enjoy him. Like I know that it's like the cop thing.
This was him like turning a corner in the cop storyline, but I still hate it.
Right. And like I know that because of the description for episode 10, which we read like back a couple episodes, it was like podcast episode, like minisode 5 or something. It does come to a head. I just like, I don't know, it feels like he's really turning a corner, and it feels like the show is moving towards a more like, by having Carl like act out, like you know, try to actually get like real justice within a corrupt system. It feels like the show is moving towards like, okay, cops are bad. Right? Like they're slowly but surely they are getting there.
So yeah, the Carl storyline's a whole thing. But the Kevin V storyline was like pure cuteness. Like the whole episode.
Cementing that they are the most stable couple on the entire show. Like cementing again and again.
Kev was just doing so much good. Like, he knew V was in a bad mood. He knew she was upset about his mom. So you know what he did? He planned a wedding for them.
Well, yeah, because he had like put in the application like to get their time zone back a while ago. Oh my god, my dog just snored really loud. Sorry if you hear that.
It's okay.
Yeah, the only thing is like when they were in that wedding scene, I was just looking at Steve and I was just like, bald as shit.
He too bald, too shiny.
Bald as shit. I think I wish we would have seen the whole ceremony.
Yeah.
Amy and Gemma, they were so cute. I wanted to hear them do their vows and maybe like have Amy and Gemma say something. Like, I feel like that would have been so cute. And I was actually genuinely surprised that they didn't have anyone else in the alibi besides just like Carol and them and the kids. I was expecting maybe like
not even Kermit and Tommy.
Yeah, I was only expecting Kermit and Tommy. But I love how he made Tommy set up all the
well, and this is like
and stuff. Is so cute.
And leaving Tommy and Kermit alone in the bar to like set up for the wedding and stuff is further cementing this whole idea that it's like Tommy and Kermit are gonna take over the bar.
Yep, yeah. That's what I mentioned to Sebastian when we were watching it. I was like, look at them, Tommy alone watching the bar once again. They put in some trust in that boy.
Do you guys think Tommy and Kermit are still hooking up?
Let's never have that conversation.
Why not?
I'm gonna say no.
I hate that for them. No, I hate that.
I thought it was kind of funny.
I have decided that never happened. So
I think it did happen, and I thought it was really funny.
I bet they also say it didn't happen because they probably didn't kiss. So
well, they probably
be a whole Ian and Mickey trope.
Oh, Ian and Mickey didn't kiss, so it never really happened.
Yep,
they're married
kiss,
now.
So it didn't happen.
Okay, so in 10 years, Tommy and Kermit are gonna be Tommy
Exactly,
and Kermit are
that's
gonna
the
be
new
married?
spin-off. That's the new spin-off. It's Tommy and Kermit just running the alibi, and then all the other characters just pop in every now and then.
You know that Jim Hoffmaster would do that though.
Oh my god, he would write it and direct it himself.
I was like genuinely surprised that Kevin V had like such a big storyline in this episode though, because when V was like, I'm going up to bed, I'm like, that'd be a perfect way for Shanola to direct the episode if V just spends the episode in bed. If V's just in bed the whole episode, so she doesn't have to shoot around herself.
I didn't even think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the episode was written before they decided who was going to direct, so it's like, honestly, like, they couldn't really get around that, but
there was minimal V in this episode, so she didn't have to do like too much.
Seems like they probably worked some things around to have her in it a bit less, just because she was gonna be directing fucking the entire episode, so they were like, let's give her a break. It must have been so powerful, though, directing yourself in an episode. God.
Now, William's done it, Emmy has done it, and now Shanola has done it.
Something tells me Cameron's gonna go into directing after the
don't give him too much power.
He's going to write, he's going to write, and he's going to direct.
He's gonna write and direct he's gonna write and direct but not star in probably like some weird pretentious film.
He's gonna make some like indie film or something.
He's good. He's gonna make an indie short.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New A24 star Cameron Monaghan.
He's gonna write and direct, and his girlfriend's gonna star. Speaking of Cameron's girlfriend, my God, she is attractive.
She's
beautiful. Good job, Cameron.
So pretty.
But before, let's get back on track of the episode. Liam and Frank. First of all, I'm loving that all of the major moments of Frank in this season have been with the smallest members of the family. Frank and Franny,
Literally.
Frank and Liam. Like, I love that.
Because it seems like they're really giving a lot to Christian in that they're focusing a lot on like Liam's reaction to Frank breaking down. And also this whole idea of like, well, where's Liam gonna go if like no one wants to take him in? I'm so happy he won that iPad. Good for him.
I'm so happy. The middle school, literally, he's a genius.
My roommate and I, when we were watching the episode, I like turned to her and I was like, any person that they make the title of the school they're gonna, because like, culture changes. It's like, it's gonna be problematic. Why not just name it after a location like Riverbrook or something? And she was like, right? That makes like, right? And it's like, okay, Liam and I having the same brain.
I also hate the way that like, I know the episode is called Canceled and whatever, but I hate the way that they're like, well, everybody's just way too sensitive. So we're going to bring up all these names that we're going to find 20-year-old things. Like, they're just trying to be like, isn't it silly and stupid cancel culture? I'm like, no, it's consequences. It's just consequences for actions.
And they totally, like, were not even using, like, every single person they would reference was, like, a pedophile, or they definitely did something that wasn't, like, cancel-worthy. It was legal action-worthy.
Okay, but the Dennis Hastert shade in this episode, they were like, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy. So true.
But like even V was like the child molester. Good, they fucking need to rename that school.
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it is like with the other stuff. It's like obviously cancel culture is very much like if what you did wasn't like so.
But like
awful,
I'm saying, like the Martin Luther King and the Gandhi thing that they shot down. Like it's so stupid.
Oh, the Gandhi thing.
That was just being like, oh, that's so stupid. But like real life cancel culture, nobody is like.
Even like people that get quote unquote canceled, like comedians who commit sexual assault or engage in conversations with minors,
they don't
get canceled for it, get brought back on stage like 2 fucking months later. So
except for Chris D'Elia, fuck that guy.
I mean, he tried. He tried to do a comeback. Yeah.
Yeah, but then everybody was like, we found more dirt on you.
But we're letting Louis C.K. just sneak right back up onto stages. We really are.
Yeah, Ugh.
It's so stupid. But like poor Liam, this whole episode, poor Liam. Like Carl is a good brother to him, and Lip and Ian were really good brothers too. They checked in with him, and Ian's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I was going to be there. I promise. Like,
I love that Carl showed up though.
Well, and it was like he spent the whole episode being like, can we please get this done so we can go to Liam's thing? And then it was like, obviously Terry was like, dead as shit. Yeah, it was like, obviously Terry dead as shit. Everyone cheered. But Frank losing his shit in front of everybody was just really sad. for me.
It was really sad.
And then at the end, when the doctor told them that he had dementia, he was like, why are we at the hospital? Like, did one of you guys have another baby? And Lip just looked at him and was like, you have dementia.
Okay, the one thing about that scene that kind of, like, it was funny, but also I was like, that's stupid. When the doctor was like, so he didn't tell you that he had dementia? I was like, it's because he has dementia! That's why! I was like, you stupid
What she
doctor.
probably thought was that they knew that he ended up in the ER and they would be like, did they give you any paper? Like, whatever. Like, let me check your pockets, whatever. Like, she probably assumed that they cared more about what he does day to day.
The way that they took in a patient, diagnosed him with dementia, didn't call anybody about it, and just put a paper in the dementia patient's pocket and sent him home, expecting anything to come of that, like he wouldn't forget or throw it away, because he has fucking dementia.
Or be angry at the diagnosis like he was and throw away the paper or crumple it up and put it somewhere else.
I mean, because it was like, Monica's dead. The hospital probably had like Fiona on file or something, but it's like, obviously the show doesn't fucking give a shit about Fiona. But obviously they can't be like, oh my god, Fiona called us and then like not show it. Like, Fiona called us, Frank has dementia. Like, that's just such a shitty way to find out. Like, interesting.
That's like really like going around everything, being like, Fiona called and said Frank has dementia. They'd be like, the fuck you mean Fiona called?
I did love the whole thing in the morning when like the little signs were coming through of Frank with his dementia with the remote. Yeah. I loved Mickey looking at him like, the fuck is going on there? Like,
well, he thought it was like really funny. He probably thought Frank was high because it's like, oh, Frank does drugs. He's probably high as shit. But then later it's like, oh my god, he's not even high. He just has dementia.
I didn't even think about it like that. It's like, that's probably why the kids didn't really seem anything out of the ordinary, because just like him being fucked up all the time, like he's so prone to doing like the weirdest stuff and saying the weirdest stuff and forgetting things and stuff like that. Because you could see how fucked up they all were in that hospital. Like, you could see their faces where they were like, all of them, like all of them.
I think it started to click for Liam when he was like, bringing this up, like blah blah blah, the whole toilet paper thing, like when he went to the bathroom twice. Yeah, I think that was when it clicked for Liam.
And when Liam's like, you just said that to me 30 seconds ago.
Well, he was like, something's wrong, but I don't know what it is, but this isn't like normal Frank. Because even for a drunk and a druggie, it's like, I feel like Frank doesn't ever really get like that fucked up.
Yeah, that was a straight up replay of what just happened. That wasn't like stumbling through anything. That was just like reverse play again, like the same conversation. But like I said, Frank interacting with the youngest members of the family through this whole first half and like this first part of the second half of the season is like, just, I feel like it was such a good narrative choice to have him with Franny and with Liam like that.
Like, when I tell you that Francis Franny episode was probably
it's
like
one of my favorites,
probably at the top list of like, it's one of my favorite episodes of this season so far. Like, especially like, it was like the first telltale signs of like Frank and the dementia. We got a lot of Franny and Paris. Fucking love that girl to death. She is so good.
I feel so bad that like it seems like the whole cast and like the whole fan base is like, Paris is the only Franny. Guys, there's another Franny, Presley Schrader. But it's like she doesn't seem as like extroverted as Paris, and like she doesn't have a
Paris's mom runs a hell of an Instagram too.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Paris's mom is like, I'm posting content.
Oh yeah, she's feeding us that content.
And so everybody's like, Paris, we love her. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, it's really interesting that Frank's main interactions have been with the youngest members of the family, because his whole thing this season has been about legacy, like preserving his legacy.
So he's going for the younger ones.
And it's like, the way to preserve your legacy is to pass down stories and memories to the younger generation. So it's like, oh my god, I'm gonna be really sad when he dies, actually. And
that's our prediction too, because since when Jim put up that thing when they were filming the finale, and they said Bill wrapped yesterday, but he's here today when we're shooting this big final scene. So I'm like, oh, so he died.
Yeah, because it's like,
yeah, so he's not gonna be in the last scene like in the UK version.
But in the UK version, Frank doesn't die; he just leaves.
I know, he just walks up, but he's not going to be.
Yeah, because it's like he wrapped a full day earlier when they were doing the Gallagher house shots. He didn't even he wasn't even, because it looks like the last shot is like in the alibi, and then like outside the alibi there's like probably a fire, like a bonfire.
Well, in the UK
And
version, apparently somebody set a car on fire outside of the alibi.
Frank set a car on fire and then dips, and they all party around it, and that's kind of similar to like the first scene in the pilot. But so yeah, Bill was not filming in the alibi, the last scene in the alibi that they did.
But yeah, the Frank, like, William H. Macy continues to kill it this season. When they give Frank substance, like, I cannot believe the first episode of this season was part of this season, because I hated it so fucking much.
Oh my god, the first season was so bad. I mean, the first episode was so bad.
They spend so much time because it's like everybody is pretty like layered as a character. Like, they've had good moments, they've had sad moments, happy moments, sad moments, angry moments. But it's like Frank rarely is anything other than drunk and conniving. It's like he rarely gets sad and depressed in the show, so it's like when you do get to see that, it's like really good. I wish Frank was a little bit more of a layered character.
Like, this season feels as good as his season 4 arc did when he was dying of liver cancer, because it is an elevated version of him. It's him facing his mortality, and that is always interesting to watch.
And it gives him something new to work with.
And that season 4 arc was so good. And it's also like, because then it examines Frank's relationships with his kids on a level that is more than like money, because you have the whole Emily moment. So it's like something's cooking.
But let's go to the oldest male in the family that's not Frank, Lip Gallagher. Okay, so I was listening to our last week's episode, and Lena, you said in last week, Tammy will not put up with any bullshit, any criminal activity. In this episode, she's like, let's fucking kill my brother-in-law.
She was like, this crime is making me horny.
Okay, well, she moved the boxes and got pissed because she was like, Carl called me and they have a warrant, so like I moved the box. She was so mad. She was like, I'm doing what's best for like our family.
I love that Lip was like, oh, so you got a call from Carl and you immediately knew what to do. That's kind of hot. That's kind of hot that you're...
He was like, that Gallagher rubbing off on you a little bit. And the fact that she was like, I'm kind of turned on right now. And I was like, yes!
It was like, MILF, DILF.
Let's make this happen.
Guys.
Let's go. Let's bada bing, bada boom.
What's so interesting is it's like, okay, old Shameless, and people on like the Facebook groups and shit have complained about this, but it's like old Shameless, when that happened, they would have had like a 2-minute sex scene between Lip and Tammy.
Oh,
nothing, just a cutaway. So now I'm starting to feel like, I'm like, oh, like not having sex scenes between like other characters is like not them being like, we hate these other characters. They're just moving away from that entirely.
Yeah.
Which I think is honestly pretty good.
Do you think a lot of the time in previous seasons it was because Emmy was the wow factor of the show, so they wanted to include that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it might also be a combination, too, of COVID things, let's not do sex scenes, and...
Oh, true. I didn't even think about COVID not wanting to be, like, pressed up against each other.
Yeah.
And moving away from, like, and maybe let's spend time that we spend on sex scenes on other stories, and also, have Ian and Mickey have the most sex scenes this season?
Yeah,
They've had one, so yes.
But wait, hold on, but before we get into Ian and Mickey, I want to jump into Lip and Tammy a little more, too, because this storyline, first of all, honorable mention, Layla. Love you, Layla.
Layla!
Of course, always. She did so great, and I wish we could see more of her, but I don't think we will.
Yeah. I also love Kate Miner tweeting, my bestie got to be my co-star. I'm like, maybe that's why Noel and Kate seem like such good friends on set, and maybe that's why Mickey and Tammy have such good chemistry with each other, because Noel and Kate...
Mickey and Tammy are like, we're besties.
They're like, we have wine together, we know.
They're besties.
But, sorry, we keep
getting off track, but it's like...
Jeremy Allen White did a really good job this week, again, like he always does. And this Lip storyline has me fucking worried. I don't like the introducing a whole intricate storyline for him with only 4 episodes to go. And I am increasingly worried that his brother-in-law is going to rat out Mickey. Like, I am increasingly worried about it.
I don't think so. I mean, everybody thinks
that whole
like...
rat thing,
Everybody's like, oh my god, he's gonna rat out Mickey. Mickey's gonna go to jail. No, he's still here, guys. I don't think he's gonna, like he was in the finale. He's fine.
Yeah, no one knows Mickey's involved as of now. Like, it seems like the police have only contacted Brad because he's a former employer.
It's also like, if anything, they could only trace it back to Lip and Brad. And if both of them
Because
are like,
they work there.
we are better than, like, we are not gonna snitch. Obviously, Ian would probably be like, what the fuck, you can't snitch.
Yeah.
He would be pissed. It's like, they're not gonna give Mickey up. If anything, they'd give each other up.
Here's the thing. I've been traumatized by this show. I know that I saw a picture of Noel filming the last scene. I know that Mickey is in the last scene. I know that in my heart. But my brain is like, they're fucking tricking you. They're fucking tricking you.
Mickey literally in the description of episode 10, and they're like, his description has nothing to do with Lip's storyline. But yet I'm like, what if he gets arrested and goes to jail, though?
But the trauma, though. Why is he hitting Lip, though? But the trauma, like...
I feel like it's probably going to be something dead dad related. Dead dad or drinking. Wait, first I want to touch on sobriety.
Yes, I was about to mention that too, because I was going to say he looked, even though he probably was
like
held
shit
for a while, he looked like fuck shit. He looked so bad.
I think Lip is still drinking. I don't think Brad is. I don't think Brad
is either. Brad seems like, the way Brad was reacting to things seems like he's just scared more than anything. Like, he's just thinking realistically at this point. Like, he's just freaking tweaking out and has anxiety about the whole situation. He didn't seem like he was drinking at all, because he's like, I did something bad, and Lip's like, no.
Lip's like, no, you didn't. Wink.
Okay, but also, running away from an individual outside of a police department, chasing them, tackling them, yelling and fighting, and then shoving them into a car, all outside of a police department. I was like, okay, cool. You guys are being so subtle for yourselves.
But it's also like, they could just be like, oh, we were beefing, so...
That's true. But I was just like, you just left here, like, 2 hours ago, Lip. You're gonna get your ass back in there.
I don't know. I
just don't like such a needlessly complicated storyline when we're, like, 2 steps away from the finish line. Like, I don't know, I wish they'd given him something else.
It is gonna be hard.
They should have definitely done the robbery earlier and then had all of the consequences come a bit sooner, because, like, as you said, we have 4 episodes left, and now we don't know if Lip is gonna go to jail or if Brad's gonna go to jail, or, like, what's gonna happen.
I mean, it is hard because it's like, you have to have an episode... you have to have an episode with the whole, like, baby thing, their baby getting sick, because that's the whole reason he sold Born Free. You have to have an episode where they sold Born Free. You have to have an episode where, and, like, maybe in the same one, Lip gets fired. You have to have an episode where they come up with a plan. You have to have an episode where they rob. You have to have an episode where it takes a while for the police to find out. Like, it's just like, this is like halfway through the season. Yeah. So,
but they should have known better than to create such, like, a large plot device that is just kind of like, it's been helping progress the season, but then now we're just like, okay, you're running out of time, so where is it gonna go?
I wish they would have extended to 14 episodes like they did with season 9, but
I feel like they definitely could have gotten some more out of it, especially for the Showtime run,
or even if the last 2 episodes were like an hour and a half instead of an hour.
Yeah, so I found out the other day, I was reading an interview that the announcement of the last season, Showtime had to be like, John, this is going to be the last season, we decided. You do not take it to any other network. Because I know that you could get a season 12 at different networks, but we don't want you to. So out of respect for us, like, don't do that.
Fuck.
Interesting.
Right?
That's so interesting that Showtime had to be like, okay, John, it's enough. No more.
Well, I mean, I'm sure John was like, like, whatever, nearing the end. Well, this is the only show he's ever worked on that he's been in the writer's room the entire time. Obviously, like, at the end, he kind of tapped out and, like, didn't even come to the last couple days of filming. Yeah. But it's like, this is the only show he's ever worked on that he's been in the writer's room the entire time.
Yeah.
So they were like, we know you could probably get it picked up at another network, but, like, we really, really encourage you not to.
I don't want Shameless to become, like, a Hulu original. Like, I'm good.
And we love the John Wells slander in the video of them all rapping. We love the John Wells slander from Bill.
Oh my god.
Bill started it. Bill was like, and John somebody. And Noel was like, John who? Who's that? Get him, Noel!
I didn't watch that video. Is that the one when they're all, like, during, like, the last filming
Yeah, like,
scene
Cameron is, like, introducing everybody, and, like, everybody's clapping for everybody, and Noel says Cam's name, and they say, like, they're DP, and everybody that was around, and then William H. Macy's like, and John somebody, and Noel's like, yeah, John who? John who?
Like, can you believe he didn't even come? Like, maybe he had his reasons, but it's like, I'm pretty sure he was just like, I'm fed up. I'm fed up with you bitches.
I just love Noel
Yeah.
saying that. Like, I'm sure they're gonna say, oh, it was all in jest. But, like, John Wells literally said, I'm about to start giving out Noel's phone number so that people stop asking me why we aren't bringing Mickey back. Like, John Wells has said that in interviews. And
doxed him. His ass got doxed.
He has fully put the onus of Mickey being cut out of some seasons on Noel. Like, it wasn't like they were not paying him, which is what it was. They weren't paying him. But they're like, oh no, actually Noel wanted to leave. Like, the fucking slander he put on him, I just loved. It was cathartic hearing, John who? John who?
Obviously, if, like, he has an NDA and it ends, I'm sure if Emmy has an NDA, once that ends, all hell breaking loose. All hell about to break loose when Emmy's NDA is up. Things that make you go,
Yeah.
Time's
Yep.
a clicking. Time's a ticking.
But, so let's get into, from all that Noel talk, let's get into the Ian and Mickey of it all. I, again, really like this episode. It was yet another episode where Cameron was there and Ian was there, but he was, like, taking a step back and being the support. It's Ian being the supportive character in Mickey's story right now, instead of Mickey being the supportive character in Ian's story, like always.
Yeah, it's the inverse of season 5 Ian bipolar storyline.
Yeah.
It's like the complete inverse of that, which is, like, fantastic. I wish they would give it a little more emotional weight from scene to scene. Like, not the actors, like the writers, like, spend a little more time on it, because obviously Shameless is, like, gives us whiplash because they have different scenes every 50 seconds.
Oh,
but
this episode really gave me whiplash, especially with Mickey Ian scenes, and especially with the Terry scene too.
yeah.
I liked the nuance of this, though. I like the nuance of it, of Mickey recognizing, like, somebody has to take care of him, nobody else is going to do it, and feeling the responsibility. And Ian being like, why are you doing this? And Mickey's like, what do you mean? It's family. I have to do this for family.
Like, he's my fucking dad.
The thing I realized, and me and Sebastian were talking about it when we were watching this, is that, like, it paints a big picture, especially for Frank's storyline and Terry's storyline, that, like, if you treat people like shit your entire life, you don't give your family anything, you just are just an asshole, and you don't give, and you don't actually be a parent, when you're older and you're in need and you're sick and you have things going on, those people are not going to be there to take care of you and support you. Like, all of Mickey's like siblings and stuff all ran out. At first I thought that Terry was gonna die from freaking, like,
sepsis,
his colonoscopy bag being, like, infected and stuff like that, because it looked moldy.
Yeah, I mean, and then you had that scene between Mickey and Ian where he was like, when I'm old and I can't take care of myself, like, am I gonna have to worry about you abandoning me? But it's like
Ian did such a good balance this episode of being like, you deserve better than this, you don't have to do this, but I understand that you're going to, and I'm gonna help you. Yeah.
He called the agency. He picked up the nurse. He literally did the bare minimum, and we're all like, oh my god.
Although I do wish, like, the pettiness in me of, like, when Terry was like, where's your butt buddy? I just want them to say my husband just once this season. I need a that's my husband moment, like, once or twice. However, that scene with Noel and Dennis, that scene with Mickey and Terry,
oh my
fucked
god,
me up. Once again, they give Noel 3 lines and 2 facial expressions, and he fucking tears my heart out.
It was so good.
Well, because he was basically, what he was saying to him was, if you weren't gay, maybe I would have loved you.
Yeah. And Mickey,
Yep.
if you weren't a homophobic, racist guy who beat the shit out of me, like, that part was so important to me to hear. For him to be like, not only are you just verbally and terribly the worst, you also fucking ruined me.
But you tried to kill me. Yeah. Like, maybe you would have been an okay dad. And it's like, oh my god. It's one thing to be like, I am disappointed that you're gay, but obviously I'm not gonna, like, turn my back on you. And it's another thing to be like, I am actively trying to kill you right now.
Yeah. And it's one thing to be a shitty dad and not be present and be terrible in general to your family, but not in, like, the level of a way that Terry was, because Terry was so garbage that everybody but the one loyal member of his family abandoned him. Frank was garbage, and the whole fucking family flocks to him when he's sick. Like, that's the difference. It's the dichotomy of the two.
Yeah. It's because it's not even about the idea of like, oh, well, he cares about Terry. Like, yes, that's his dad, but really it's a testament to like Mickey's morals.
Yeah.
And how loyal and like kind-hearted he actually is. Because it's like over and over again, he proves that he is like fiercely loyal.
Yeah.
No matter who wrongs him, he is incredibly forgiving. And it's like,
yeah,
guys.
Like in that deleted scene from season 4 when he's like, I rocked my sister's boyfriend shit because he beat her up. And the initial reason he ever even came after Ian was because he heard Ian mess with Mandy and he needed to protect Mandy. And then when everything that happened with Ian, he was fiercely protective of Ian the whole time. When Ian's family and their house was in danger, even when Mickey and Ian weren't speaking, Mickey was protective of them. Like, it's just who he is, no matter how he's been wronged. And that is why he and Dean Winchester would be best fucking friends. Sorry, they both mean the world to me. And but then comes the nun, the actual Lord and Savior of Shameless. This fucking nun.
The editing. Did you guys catch where it was like he walked in and saw Terry dead? First of all, the funniest tweet was somebody posting the picture of Terry dead and just writing. No, they're just writing smack cam. Shout out to I can't remember the username, but shout out to whoever that was. When Mickey looking at Terry's dead body, that like face. Holding back tears. The applause in the background from Liam's contest.
I did not notice that.
They bled the sound in from the next scene where they're at the competition and people are applauding for like the submission. And so Mickey's like looking at his dead dad, like about to cry, applause. Everyone cheered.
That's another moment of like what you brought up last episode of them like just not letting moments breathe and not letting moments happen with like the background thing.
But you know what though? I kind of like that one. That was kind of funny.
See, it was a little funny, but I also like Noel is so good at heavy sad moments, and like I love that you could see Ian put his hand on Mickey's shoulder when they ran into the house. Like you could see him be there and be supportive. I'm upset that we didn't either get a reason that Ian left Mickey alone to deal with it, or just another moment of Mickey after with it all.
Am I the only one who's mad about how they killed off Terry?
No, I loved it.
I was kind of mad in a way. Like I'm in the way that I'm glad he's dead, but I don't think his death was the closure the show needed or his character needed, because like you had him go back and forth with all these like nurses for the whole episode, and then for this random bitch to be like, he's dead. I was like, I'm sorry, he's what?
Well, she pulled a Sheila, which is kind of funny.
I know, I saw your guys' messages, but then I know there's like the whole thing now. Next episode is not even gonna be like, oh, Terry. It's gonna be like, so what did Terry do in his past? Like, what was he up to?
But like, I feel like it's gonna be such a beautiful moment of Mickey just like, I'm ready for Noel to do this. Like, I want whatever they let him do. I want to see it because like I feel like it's gonna fuck me up. Like,
yeah, Well, I'm excited to talk about what I know about the upcoming next episodes because Amanda knows this. I went kind of crazy.
Lena went full detective at like 3 a.m. the other night.
Well, okay, it was there was the time change. It was actually 2 a.m. First of all,
Amanda, your message, you were like, "It's 3 a.m. Please go to sleep."
You were like, "Hey, bestie, go to sleep," and I was like, "I will not actually."
So yeah, like. I understand why you're upset about the way they killed him. I was mostly happy that I was wrong, that they weren't going to be they weren't going to do the Terry has actually secretly been gay this whole time. Like, I was so happy that. Although maybe next week I'll get proven wrong. Who knows? But
who knows?
If we get to see Mickey's mom,
because there's that screenshot of like a photo of like young Terry with a woman, right?
And then they're on somebody's porch. If we get to see Mickey's mom,
because it's like I wouldn't put it past Shameless to not remember that they said she was dead.
But in season 10, they said she ran out.
Well, but it's like she ran out and then she died. But so then it could be like, she faked her death to get away from Terry.
Because she hated Terry so much. Exactly.
But like, I would give anything for Ian and Mickey to knock on that door and for it to open and just to look at Mickey and him go, Mom? Like, I'd give anything for that.
Oh my god. Well, cause then you could also get the whole like, this is my husband Ian.
Yeah, but like, I just want that moment for Noel. I just want I just want another fucking Dean Winchester moment when he saw his mom in the field at the end of season 12. Honestly, that's what I need.
You are mentally ill.
I am mentally ill.
That house, people were like, maybe Ian and Mickey will move into that house.
Well, because there's the rumor of Ian and Mickey looking to move to the west side.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would just move into this if they go to this said lady's house. I don't think they're just gonna be like, okay, we're gonna move in. By the way,
Yeah, but like, I'd give anything for him to knock on that door, it open, and him be like, "Mom," like I would give my life for that. Like, good.
What if his mom's a lesbian?
Winning.
We need one good lesbian on this show that gets to be here past episode 8.
Please. We were supposed to get lesbian Fiona, but we all know what we got instead. Lesbian Debbie. The worst.
But the Ian and Mickey storyline in this was like, there wasn't enough time. There's never been enough time of them. And I feel like Carl and Debbie storylines could have taken some hits in the scene department for like Ian and Mickey to have a little bit more time. Everybody else was pretty well balanced, but
there were so many Debbie scenes that were like, you could have cut that. We didn't need to see that. We were good. That whole dumpster scene, we didn't need that. We could have just gotten the phone call and been like, oh, Debbie, we forgot you are a bad mother.
Yeah. Or have Sandy with Franny at the house and be like, you forgot to pick up your fucking kid from school. That's it. Yep.
Yeah, because so Franny's in school. Is Prince, like, is he's supposed to be in school too, so was he, like, just chilling at the house all day?
I don't know, maybe he's in virtual school or whatever, because, what's-his-face picked him up in that morning.
Royal. No, he had an Uber.
Yeah, Sandy comes down in the beginning of the episode, she's like, there's an Uber coming for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I misheard, I didn't hear that.
Royal probably had to work again, so he was like, I figured out where Prince can go, just send him in an Uber or something.
Yeah.
But it's like, damn, putting that little ass kid in an Uber all by himself.
They've done worse.
I know, but it's like, I feel bad for him because he was a cute kid.
I also would like to stake a personal vendetta against the Shameless Twitter when they tried to make that a romantic thing when he put his arm around Franny. They were like, oh, new couple alert. And we're like, nope, he's actually just fucking comforting her. So maybe shut the fuck up.
He's literally a kid.
No, because they both have psychopath moms. He was like, I'm sorry, you have to go through this too.
Yeah, they're literally children. How about we not do that? Okay, thanks. Please and thank you, Shameless Twitter. I'm also so mentally ill that I was watching the Grammys and Rain on Me got nominated and I lost my mind.
It won. I know it won. My friend texted me today and I was like, all thanks to Shameless.
It's fucking detective time. It is detective 1109 time.
So I used to do this a lot for Always Sunny. On Always Sunny, what we would do, because we didn't have a lot of like, because there was never really any content that came out like episode by episode. So what we would do was we would match the outfits from behind the scenes photos to clips we saw. So the outfit that Mickey wears in episode 9, first of all, he's not in any promo pictures. I'm assuming it's just like
too spoilery.
Well, and the only ones Ian are in is like in the house, like in the kitchen with everybody else. And then the one with Debbie, which like not quite sure what it's going to be about, but
is the episode 8 going to be the one with them with the box and they're like cremating, they're like lighting the box on fire?
Yeah, same outfit. So it looks like episode 10, like around the time they were filming. That's the one where Kev goes to Louisville with Veronica to move in Carol. Filming that day, it was just Tommy, Kermit, Ian, and Mickey in the bar. And Ian was behind the bar in like all of the photos. So it's like, maybe they're working the bar for the day. Outfit wise, I think it matches up with Lip fighting Mickey. I did put together like the timeline on that one. So I think Lip and Mickey, this is just like my prediction. And if I'm wrong, then I'm wrong, but this is for posterity. I think Lip and Mickey are going to fight in episode 10. Not sure what about, probably either dead dad things or alcohol things. And then episode 11, because Amanda, the whole reason this started was because Amanda was pointing out to me like, oh, I think they cut that scene where Ian and Mickey are on the bed. They didn't. So the outfit matches up with the filming of episode 11.
So he must be comforting him from
or
a
maybe still
issue.
This. He could be grieving for 2 episodes.
It also looks like in the clip that their room is a little bit packed up. So they're probably getting ready to move. Obviously, we don't have the description for episode 11 out yet, but they did not cut it yet. We don't need to worry.
I am still a camo kiss truther. I am holding on to the camo kiss.
But that camel kiss, that definitely got cut.
Oh, for sure. 100 billion %.
If that does not come out in a deleted scene on the DVDs.
Well, because that's the scene where they're like, that's the scene where he's like, oh, Galovich security. He's like, that's fucking stupid. They probably cut it because they realized that was a dumb as shit line.
But they used it in all the fucking promos.
I know, but I hate when they bring ship names into the universe. I'm like, I cannot do this with you guys. It is like, it's embarrassing.
They freaking in Riverdale, they always talk about their ship names. I'm like, don't talk about your ship names, please. You're ruining it.
It's embarrassing because nobody does that in real life, first of all.
No one does that. Like, any significant other is not like, oh my god, so what's our names combined?
Right? Like, it's just like, so they, yeah. Also, the photo where Noel was lifting Paris up.
Like, throwing her?
Yeah, also matches up with the filming of episode 11.
Also, Paris crying and all of them comforting her. I can't take it. I actually can't take it.
That was so sweet.
Also, freaking Shanola just starting to chant Franny. I was like, girl, she has
well,
a name.
Because she's so proud of playing Franny. That's probably why they were like, Franny.
That's true.
Anyway, that's all I got. Lip and Mickey are gonna fight in episode 10. Ian's gonna comfort Mickey in episode 11. Final prediction.
Well, I love that for us. And I liked this episode. I thought it was really good. It's not my favorite of the whole season, but like, thank God, ding dong, the bitch is dead. Like, I'm so
everybody
fucking
cheered.
happy.
Literally.
I'm so happy. And I hope Noel gets to dig into some meaty shit in this next episode. Like, I hope it's good. I hope it doesn't get played off for a laugh.
While everybody else is having silly heist times, because this is Frank's heist episode, so it's like while everybody else is doing silly heist things and like silly stealing motorbikes things, like the mob, they're doing the mob storyline this next episode. Mickey and Ian get to be sad.
Yeah.
So good little.
So they're not the comedic relief this episode.
like they were last week. So it's like, okay, like we're getting a little bit of balance here.
Yeah. I love this. I'm excited. I'm like,
I cannot wait until the episode description for 11 comes out. I just know, because like episode 11 is always so good. It's gonna be like my favorite.
Is that which one is that? Is that DNR or is 10 DNR?
No, DNR is 10 is DNR, so that's when Frank gets gets the tattoo. 11 is the fickle lady is calling it quits. No clue what the fuck that's a reference to.
I've never heard of it, but it would seem like that's probably like a Frank title.
isn't the old lady who lives next door to them still alive? Like the one whose house Terry was in? What if she is the fickle lady who calls it quits? What if she dies and then Ian and Mickey get that house because she leaves the house to Terry, and what if they get the house?
Fair.
Ooh.
I feel like she probably knows Terry's dead at this point, right? She lives there.
Talking about just going back for a second, because I remember seeing this, but talking about the Carl stuff, I think he's probably still going to be with the department in the last episode too, because remember we saw in the table read that the older cop who's going to be coming back to the season was in the table read, so I'm guessing he still is with them.
For next episode, because I know that they're on Eviction Squad together, but maybe he like teams up with this older guy and is like, we need to make a change.
So in conclusion, we're very excited for the next few episodes. This episode was very good. Debbie can get fucked. Carl is like on thin ice. Ian and Mickey, things are getting beefy. Lip, things are getting beefy. Frank, things are getting beefy. Like, we like it here. And Shanola killed it this week.
Shanola killed it this episode.
Oh, I sent you guys my honorable mention. Okay, so standouts. So my standouts this week were Bill, Christian Isaiah, Noel, and Ethan. And then my honorable mentions were Elise, Jeremy, and Kate. Yeah. And also Scott Michael.
Shanola does, but she did a lot more behind the scenes, so like she gets credit for producing it.
Right. So like obviously my standouts for acting.
Yeah.
My standouts for everything else. Shanola is at the top of the list, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Christian Isaiah, man.
Who was the other person you mentioned for honorable mention? I didn't hear the last one.
Elise, Jeremy, Kate, and then Scott, who plays Brad.
Oh, nice.
Honorable mention for him too.
I thought Brad did a really good, like his actor, he did a really good, he was really good in this episode.
That's all I got for you guys.
Let's get out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, I never told you guys why I have to leave early. This is exciting. My sister, for 5 fucking years, I've been trying to convince her to start Shameless. She finally agreed. So I have to go meet her. I have to go meet her to start the first episode. This is like the only time I could catch her. So
fuck yeah, let's do it. Okay, so that is exciting. Start her on that journey and then point her toward the podcast.
Yes.
And all of you, thank you for listening. I'm sure I'm going to cut this down from an hour. Thank you for listening. We're excited to get into the rest of it. All of our socials of everything can be linked down in the description. If you want to give to our Ko-Fi, that would really be appreciative to help boost this up. I know it seems like we're begging for money, but we are. So it helps keeps us going. So we're gonna get out of here. Thank you for everything. Thank you, Detective Lena. We're excited for the rest of the season.
Oh, guys.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Goodbye.